Alrighty folks, it is Diecastbuffet here again. Today we have a super awesome 2002 Ricky Rudd primary paint scheme. I believe this car won Sonoma in '02 and that was his final career win. Well, without further ado, let's hop into today's Diecast review.
Alrighty folks, right off the good old base, and welcome to today's Diecast review. Today's video is of course brought to you by our good friends at Circle B. Make sure to use the promo code down below, guys. Helps me though to do diecast reviews like this. Keeps the channel going and growing. I appreciate it, fellas. Love y'all. And this is what you're really here for. So this is a diecast that was mass-produced back in 2002. And one of my favorite paint schemes of the '02 season. It's a very large refresh from the '01 and year 2000 paint schemes where the black car with the red numbers. Havoline kind of did a 180 and really started marketing the Havoline side of their petroleum marketing strategy instead of just Texaco. And I love this paint scheme, man. Very subtle, very simple, and it's sleek. I don't even know if they've done a Darlington throwback to this car yet, but if they have it, they should. Havoline right there on the hood, you got the Texaco decal. This car is loose, but just based on the texture of the clear coat, this was recently opened, or it was stored very, very well. This is, if you were to open one of these up right here, like right now, this is how it would feel. So whoever had this car, they must have stored it very well or recently opened it, because I did buy this loose. Go to the front of the diecast, you got the Ford Taurus decal. You can see some wear. This is again a used car, but look at the dots on the side here. I'm moving my light, and you can see how shiny it is with my studio light setup. That just shows you how smooth the clear coat is. But you can see some scratches there. That's probably from some play or some wear. Taurus Ford, you got number 28. You got Clevine Simpson Etterbrock. You got Robert Yates Racing. I tell you what, Robert Yates Racing used to be such a powerhouse in the NASCAR ranks, and it's such a shame to look at them in the COT era because they were just absolutely just ripped down to the bones. I mean, they had nothing. They were driving an unsponsored 28 car, I think with like Travis Kapow, I think is his name, Kroppel. I butcher that last name. My apologies. Anyways. They were pretty much driving back marker grade equipment, and they used to be a heavy, and I mean heavy, favorite to win the championship with Dale Jarrett and Ricky Rudd. Also, I'm noticing on this tire, the top line of the Goodyear decal is cut off apparently, so that's interesting. Got the number 28 right there. Got Havoline. You can see kind of this noise pattern, you know, kind of some lines behind it. That is very, very cool. Kind of gives me a little bit of a retro aesthetic, which this is back in 2002. And what's kind of funny is that in the early 2000s, one of the jokes they would make is like, oh, that's from the 1980s. It's like, toss that out. It's garbage. It's goofy. The music's funky. But nowadays, all that stuff, you know, the 80s stuff is very popular and sought after. It's interesting how, like, you know, once a decade's over, everyone wants to get rid of the stuff from it. And then later on in life, they're like, man, that was actually really cool. Goodyear there, 28. You got all kinds of contingencies. I mean, just look at all the EA Sports. You got the bootleg Budweiser pole board. The Winston Cup decal. Ray Bestos, 3M, all kinds of good stuff. Got a tiny little Texaco decal there. Got Ray Bestos. Ricky Rudd, and I'm not sure what that logo is on the B pillar. Let's zoom in. It's Havoline, something, Coca-Cola, and Ford Racing. And I just noticed this as well. Look at the bottom side skirt. There is a UPS decal, and I think Fleetwood RV. That is really cool. Let's go to the back of the diecast here. Got the Texaco decal, Havoline. The Ford decal, that looks like a factory error. Maybe it was smudged during clear coat. Could be mistaken, though. Number 28. Go to the right side of the diecast. The one funky thing about these early 2000s Action Winter Circle Fords is the rear axles. I don't know what it is about them, brother, but they just seem to just not want to stay. Like, they compress. Like, the front ends doesn't do that. Like, I'm pushing the right front wheel in, it doesn't go. This is with literally no resistance. So it kind of looks broken, but it's not. Another thing I'm noticing is there's a lot of wrinkles on the sides of this. And this is a product of when you take a decal and you try to curve and wrap it over a sharp edge, you're asking a lot of the decal to do that, and inevitably you're going to get some wrinkling. You can see it on the other side as well. Usually they cut the decal off right at the transition, and the transition would be basically this bottom side of the metal. This is actually a pretty unusual wrapping job. This is probably why they don't do that anymore, because it does lead to a lot of wrinkles if it's not done right. Anyways, go to the top of the car. You can see more of those like noise stripes, very, very sharp, the number 28. And you got Texaco Express Lube. So this was only ran for one season, surprisingly enough. And then I believe he won Sonoma. He left Robert Yates Racing after the 02 season. Jamie McMurray went from the Ganassi camp, winning in Sterling Marlin's car. Drove the 42 car as a third full-time entry for Ganassi in 2003. Picked up the Havoline sponsorship, the Texaco Havoline sponsorship. Robert Yates Racing rebranded the 28 car to the 38 car. Kenny Schrader left, MBM Motorsports. He went to, I believe, Schwann Racing. No, it wasn't Schwann. It was Fudge. BAM Racing. That's, I think, the name I'm looking for. The M&M sponsor went to Robert Yates Racing, and they sponsored Elliott Sadler. So it was a big, change up. Oh, you're wondering where Ricky Rudd went? Well, he went to the Wood Brothers, which had Elliott Sadler. 02 to 03, Ricky Rudd was in the center of all, and I mean all of the silly season chaos, because he pretty much swapped rides with Elliott Sadler, and unfortunately, Ricky Rudd never found victory lane again. Elliott Sadler did win in the Wood Brothers car in 2001 at Bristol, and Larry McNugget. That was the last win for Wood Brothers until Bain won it literally a decade later at the 500. But Robert Yates Racing and Ricky Rudd, they kind of left on bad terms a little bit. I think there was some drama with his crew chief and stuff. Anyways, he runs Wood Brothers for a couple of years, and then he comes back, I think in 06 or 07, when Dale Jarrett's basically leaving the team full-time, and he drove the 88 car in 2007, and then he retired. So it was unfortunate because Ricky Rudd never got to win the championship. He never won the Daytona 500. I think he did win the Brickyard 498, but just a shame because he was definitely a very, very talented driver in those years, and I liked him. I liked pretty much all the Winston Cup drivers, to be honest with you. They all had their own personalities, and just what an interesting year that was, 2002. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Have a blessed one, everybody. Diecastbuffet signing off.